Welcome to the Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist, and today our special guest is Todd Leonard with Accelerated Waste Solutions. Welcome, Todd.
Welcome. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Here's the format for the Franchise Minute. In just a moment, we're going to watch a 60-second video on today's topic, which is trash and junk removal franchises, or I should say trash or junk removal franchises. And then we're going to have live Q&A. Todd, I'm going to ask the questions and you're going to provide the answers, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, fantastic. Well, we'll begin in just a moment. So here we go. Time for the Franchise Minute. Welcome to the Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist, and today's topic is junk or trash removal franchises. People who want a business that do well no matter what's happening in the economy should consider junk or trash removal businesses. Looking ahead, is the demand for junk and trash removal going to decrease? Not hardly. These are the highly desirable steady Eddie franchises that are immune to politics, world events, and economic cycles. Junk removal also has an environmental friendly aspect to it, a green consideration that keeps tons of items out of landfills. Why is this? The old cliche is true. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Anna Wilds YouTube channel. Come back next Wednesday at 11:30 for the next edition of the Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. All right, Todd. So help us understand how your franchise, Accelerated Waste Solutions, differentiates itself from other franchises in the trash or junk removal space.
Well, thank you, Anna. Thank you for that great introduction video too, talking so much. You're spot on. Trash is never going away, and it's something that through the pandemic, through everything that's happened, has continued to thrive. And even on our side of the table, we've seen 20+% increases in revenue during the pandemic, because people will always create trash and always have junk. So for us, really the biggest thing that makes us different, we're one of the only opportunities out there that combine two brands that are in niche trash industry markets together under one franchise fee. So we have two sides to our business: junk removal, which is a steady Eddie daily revenue generator. We have our own little spin on it, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more. And then we have a valet trash service, which is another huge niche industry, which is doorstep trash collection at apartment complexes or multi-unit complexes. So residents don't have to haul their own stuff off to the dumpster. Basically gives them the luxury of 5-day-a-week trash collection at their doorstep instead of having to lug those heavy bags over to the dumpster themselves.
Yeah, I remember when I was out of college and just starting to work, and I lived in, various apartment complexes. I mean, for years, because, I'd get one job and move, go to another market, get another job, move. And then, taking your trash out at 10 or 11 o'clock at night and having to walk, as far as you had to do, especially how big some of these complexes are. So, I mean, it is convenience, it is a luxury, but also, I mean, it helps with people probably take their trash out more. It's cleaner, it's more sanitary, and it's definitely convenient. So that's a marvelous way to differentiate yourself, to have two different brands under one roof, both the trash collection and the junk removal. That's fantastic, and all for one franchise fee. That is very unique indeed. Okay, so let's talk specifically about what kind of background or experience you want a franchisee or a business owner with Accelerated Waste Solutions to have.
Sure. So we really do look for folks that have a strong business acumen, that people that want to be, in a lot of cases, a little bit above the business, not necessarily, loading trucks or doing the heavy lifting and things like that. We really run the gamut with our current owners. Actually, our most successful franchisee to date was actually a former dental hygienist. So she had no business experience, no marketing experience, really worked in a practice and follow the system, follow the tools, and had the openness and willingness to learn to become actually a 3 territory owner for us now after only
Wow.
years of business. And we do have all the way up to engineers, aviation specialists, folks like that. So folks that really are able to put a team together. It really does help if they enjoy networking or being a part of the larger community, or have that, I always like to say, that little bit of a higher calling to be active in the community is
Yeah.
one of those things that is just an intangible that just makes running our business that much easier and helps folks get successful that much faster.
And one of the things that I think is really important for people to understand, and people kind of like to gloss over, but somebody's got to go out and get the business. The owner does not drive the truck, because if you are, if he or she is, then nobody's out getting the business and making sure the customers are happy, right, Todd?
Absolutely. When you start to look at especially service businesses like ours, you don't want to relegate yourself to a $15 an hour or $18 an hour position in the business. You really want to bring a lot more value. And a lot of that is being active in our local apartment associations, networking events. Really, a lot of our sales, or almost all of our sales, is business to business. The
Right.
business to consumer side is more web-based. It's a little bit more passive in that respect. So being
Mhm.
more active in the local community, getting to know people, that old politician way of shaking hands and kissing babies out in the community is really where the owner is going to thrive, along with, overseeing the financial controls of the business, make sure they're efficient, working with our franchise business coaches and our director of franchisee performance to make sure they're maximizing their revenues, but also training and coaching and building that culture with their team is really where they're most necessary, not getting their hands dirty or getting dirt under their nails.
I was in the military, and from what you're describing, it sounds like to me someone with prior military experience would knock it out of the park potentially with your brand. Would you agree?
Absolutely. We have 4 current franchisees that were either one is actually still active military, and we have a couple that are retired. And actually, one of our co-founders is an Army veteran.
Wow.
And as you can see with our operations plans and a lot of the way, we have as many acronyms as humanly possible. That just embody that culture and that mindset. But absolutely, folks that can execute a plan. We do a lot of after action with our business coaches as well, to make sure that if something's not going as smoothly as they would like, or a meeting doesn't go as well as they'd like, we can look and build on it to make sure that we can make those adjustments and changes for the next time.
Well, you set me up beautifully for us to talk about the training and support that you give your franchisees. And you're talking about a business coach. Please explain to the audience so they understand what I'm understanding, which is each franchisee has their own business coach to help them launch and grow their business. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we have a really huge support team on our side. We do have a call center that supports the franchisee a lot in their day-to-day operations with their team. But each franchisee has a business coach that's assigned to them that's going to work with them from the day they onboard with training and support, all the way straight through to day-to-day operations, long-term planning, financial reviews, KPI reviews, things like that. Recently, we just brought on a director of franchisee performance, which their role is exactly what that title means. He's been in franchising for 18 years, has done this for a long time, but we really want to have that layer to bring the franchisees all to the next level. Any system is only as good as well as they support the franchisees, they coach them and train them. So that's where we're making most of our time and our investments today.
I think that's fantastic. And that too is another differentiator. I think people come to expect, training and support, but not all franchises are doing it to the level that you're sharing with us. I think that's just amazing.
It is.
All
It's a huge, I'm sorry. It's a
right. No,
huge
go
part
ahead.
to do is our founders started this business from zero. So they were both entrepreneurs. They worked in corporate America their whole lives. So building a system, coming out of it and saying, hey, these are all the things I wish I knew my first 5 years. One of our founders, Gerard, says all the time, my mistakes always had commas in them. So we don't want people to go through those same experiences. So their real world experience has really crafted how we built our franchise coaching system and even our operations platform with online data reviews, a full operations manual that's digital they can access from anywhere they are to get their questions answered.
I think that's wonderful. And you've just highlighted several things that differentiate people from the local independent trash haulers in their market. I mean, a call center, a business coach, I mean, training support, a standard operating procedure manual, at their fingertips. I mean, and plus the digital marketing and the two brands under one for one, So what I always like to tell people is if they don't see value in the one-time franchise fee and the ongoing royalty, well, then don't do it. But you've just outlined what they're going to get in return. So if they see value, it's worth a look.
Absolutely.
Here's another question. A lot of people are bringing up to me, this is a tight labor market. So does Accelerated Waste Solutions do anything to help in the arena of finding and hiring team members for their franchisees?
Sure. So we have basically through the training process, we are going to walk franchisees through sample interviews, role plays, all those important things, along with the important questions they want to ask in interviews and things like that. Earlier this year, we implemented a new program to actually help appointment scheduling for interviews. So essentially, a franchisee can participate in a program where we'll have folks that will gather the data from job postings and things like that, and go out and contact the candidates and put them on the franchisee's calendar to help them schedule appointments. One of the things that we saw early, and it's true of most of us, we'll go through, interview 3 or 4 people and say, oh, wow, they're great, because we just don't want to go through that long-winded couple week-long process to see enough people to have the right pool of candidates. This has really helped franchisees interview more candidates. It's helped them find better people. And it's also helped us tremendously with keeping folks on longer after they've been hired, because they've gone through a little bit more of a detailed process. It was a need that we saw the same when we would talk to franchisees. That was one of those, I'd say, I don't want to call it a gap, but it was one thing where a lot of our franchisees also coming from executive positions haven't hired, line level, blue collar employees. So their gap for even sometimes the questions they would ask was a little bit broad, going long-term plans and things like that, where being able to give them the tools and resources just to take some of the administrative functions off their plate. Ultimately, it's always going to be their, final say in who they hire, who they bring on. They're going to build their team, but giving them resources just to take those heavy lift items off their plate. And the response from even our new franchisees has been amazing. And it goes even to hiring sales managers, if that's the role that they want to bring on, or a manager if they're going to be a little bit more manage the manager style of ownership. So it can get as broad or as narrow as the franchisee would like. And again, we make it optional so that it's not something they're locked into if they feel confident in their ability to do it, but just giving them an additional resource to get out there, make their life a little bit easier, especially those first 6 months as they're onboarding.
Well, I really do think that's fantastic. I know I went through 6 virtual assistants before I found the right one. And the one I have has been with me for 2 years now, and it's made all the difference. I mean, all the difference in the world. So I think that's also a way that you're going above and beyond and differentiate yourself from other franchisors and local competition that's already in any existing market. Okay, well, people are probably intrigued at this point. So what are the minimum financial requirements you're looking for to get into Accelerated Waste Solutions?
Sure. So typically to get a single territory rolling in our business, you're looking at usually around $175,000 to $200,000 initial investment with franchise fees, operating capital, lease of our service vehicle, and things like that. We're typically looking for about $75,000 to $100,000 of liquid capital available, and a willingness to be able to either take out a loan or use some of their own investments or other things to get up to that 175 to 200 range. Net worth, is always a moving target, but we're usually like to see at least 150 to 200,000 net worth as well. And a lot of it really just comes down to being set up for the right position. And I'd say, being able to fund the business. One of the things you never want to do is walk into a business a little bit cash light. So we do inflate those numbers a little bit just to make sure the franchisees have enough cushion when they come in to cover any that could happen.
Well, I'm sure a lot of our audience is intrigued at this point. So if someone wants to learn more about Accelerated Waste Solutions, what do you recommend they do?
Well, I got to get on the phone and call you. For us, we look at a lot of target markets and we work with you specifically to find the right candidates for our model. You understand the types of folks that are successful in our system. So using your expertise and your time to find the right folks and bring them our way, make sure that we're not wasting their time, they're not wasting our time, everybody's on the same page. So reach out to Anna. She'll be happy to introduce us, and I look forward to meeting them as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Todd. And thank you for being here. We're out of time now. This is Todd Leonard with Accelerated Waste Solutions. Thank you to our audience. Be sure to subscribe to the Anna Wilds YouTube channel and keep coming back. Next week, we're going to be talking about moving franchises. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist.